It's 1900. A man in upstate New York was so desperate to unload his failing business that he offered it to an employee for $35. The employee said no. That same business sold 25 years later for $84 million. That's roughly $1.5 billion in today's dollars. Nothing changed about the product. The price was the same. The market was the same. What changed was one simple marketing move. Today we're talking about Jell-O and the marketing move that built it, the problem they couldn't solve, the insight that cracked it open, how they executed it on the ground, and the exact marketing playbook you can use today for your product or service. The story starts in 1897 in Leroy, New York. A carpenter named Peril Waite combines powdered gelatin with sugar and fruit flavoring. His wife May calls it Jell-O. He tries to sell it but can't. 2 years later, he gives up and sells the brand to a local businessman named Orator Woodward for $450. Woodward was experienced. He'd already built one successful packaged food brand. He ran the same marketing playbook he had before, placing well-done ads and planning on sales taking off. He sent salesmen door to door, but sales went nowhere. He got so fed up, he's the guy who tried to hand the whole thing to an employee for $35, and that employee turned him down. Here's the thing. Woodward knew the product worked. The price was right, a dime a package, and distribution wasn't a problem. Gelatin desserts existed in the early 1900s, but they were a luxury. Making one from scratch meant hours of boiling animal bones and straining the result. Regular households had never made it because it was just too much work. They had no recipe, no mental model, no idea that just add boiling water to this product called Jell-O produced an actual dinner or dessert. You cannot sell a product people don't know how to use. The barrier wasn't the price, it was awareness. It was a knowledge gap, and the only way to close a knowledge gap is to fill it. Woodward kept asking the same question: why won't anyone buy this? The product was good, the price was low, and then it clicked. People weren't refusing to buy it. They just had no idea what to make of it. So he stopped trying to sell it, and he started teaching it. In 1902, his team printed recipe booklets and handed them out for free. Not brochures and not ads dressed up as tips. Actual recipe books. 40-plus dishes, every occasion, specific instructions. They turned a mystery ingredient into something a home cook could picture on their table. Here's a distribution move that made it work. Well-dressed salesmen in horse-drawn wagons went door-to-door in neighborhoods and left a booklet at every house. Then, before leaving town, they walked into the local grocery store and told the owner, "Stock Jell-O," because customers already know what it is and they're coming to buy it from you. They seeded demand before they asked anyone to carry the product. It worked immediately. By the end of 1902, Jell-O was doing $250,000 in sales. By 1907, $1 million a year. By 1913, $2 million. In peak years, 15 million booklets went out the door. Norman Rockwell illustrated some of them. Editions were printed in Spanish and French and given to immigrants arriving on Ellis Island. In 1925, the company sold for $84 million, roughly $1.5 billion in today's dollars. One product, one insight, one free booklet. Now, in 1985, consumer researcher Mary Brucks published a study in the Journal of Consumer Research titled "The Effects of Product Class Knowledge on Information Search Behavior." Her finding was straightforward. When consumers understand a product category, they move through the purchase process faster and with more confidence. The inverse is just as true. When there's a knowledge gap, buyers stall. They don't go looking for answers. They just don't buy. Jell-O's recipe booklets were knowledge delivery. They took buyers who weren't disinterested, just stuck, and gave them everything they needed to act. Decades later, Hollebeek and Macky confirmed the same mechanism in the Journal of Interactive Marketing. Content marketing builds understanding first, and understanding is what produces trust and a purchase. Woodward figured that out with a printing press and a horse in 1902. Your marketing move starts with one question. What does my customer need to know before they can buy from me? Not why they should buy, what they need to know how to do first. If there's a knowledge gap between your customer and your product or service, ad spend won't close it. Here's your marketing move in 3 steps. Step 1, map the gap. Write down every question a customer has to answer before they can use your product with confidence. Where do they get stuck? What do they search a week before they buy something like yours? What's your content calendar look like? Step 2, build your booklet. A PDF, a YouTube series, email, onboarding, blog post, the format doesn't matter. The goal is the same as it was in 1902. Make the product usable before they buy it. Step 3, sequence the sale. Woodward didn't go to the grocer first. He created an informed customer, then asked the store to stock the shelf. In B2B, that means your educational content hits a prospect before your sales team does. In e-commerce, your how-to content ranks before your product page does. You engineer the demand, then you fill it. Every blog, every YouTube tutorial, every onboarding email sequence, every SaaS knowledge base, they're all running Woodward's marketing playbook. He's really the OG of content marketing. The channel has changed, the mechanism didn't. Before anyone called it content marketing, a guy in upstate New York with a horse and a printing press already figured it out. In today's noisy world, ads fade in the background. You have to become an educator with your marketing. Are you doing everything you can to educate your potential customers? Do an audit this week and see if you can do better. Put that into action and make the decision to buy easier for your customers. Your marketing move.